Hello and welcome to the Binge Thinker episode I Forget. I'm Jamil Raymond and I am fucking exhausted. I'm coming to you live from Bangkok. I'm in a nice little garden somewhere near the Grand Palace in Wat Pho. It is the last day of my travels after 3 weeks abroad. If you've been following around or following, keep them up. Fuck, I'm exhausted. Mentally cooked. I've been to Amsterdam, Brussels, and Thailand over the last 3 weeks. And I'm in the last few hours of my trip before I fly home back to Australia for some much needed rest and consistency. I don't know, I just wanted to riff a little bit and get an ep out while I was here. I'm not going to follow my standard procedures just for this week, just because I am, as you can hear, almost completely out of brain cells. I am completely off my game physically. Not completely, but I just feel run down. I'm tired of being sweaty. I'm tired of walking around in, 80% humidity at 33 degrees and just drip sweating out of my armpits everywhere. G'day, how you going? I'm sick of the British. There are so many fucking poms in Thailand. Jesus Christ, it's almost worse than colonialism at this point. But yeah, I cannot wait to get home. I cannot wait to just get back into my routine. I've got so many things to do, all positive. I'm not saying that um, this place isn't unimportant, but I can feel the excitement for what is next. If you've been keeping up the last few weeks, it's really been about getting this sales course together, putting it in front of the right people. Everyone I speak to is excited about it. So now it is time to go home and work. That's what I'm being called into now. It's what I'm being pulled to, is to get home, get my shit together, and build this thing. And I'm excited for it. I can't wait to get stuck into it. I'm definitely looking forward to becoming a monk again for the next 3 or 4 months. The idea is to get the course out by my birthday, which is August 28th. Jeez, I can't even remember my own birthday. That's how tired I am. Fucking hell. Yeah, I'm just really fucking excited to get home, get some consistency, and yeah, just move forward. Whew, man. So what have I been up to lately? What else have I been doing in Thailand? I had my work conference at the Hilton for a couple of days. Good fun, good to catch up with my global team, good to connect with people, have a little bit of luxury amongst all the chaos of being in a hostel. It's so funny getting to Thailand, getting to Bangkok, and going from like a cheap backpackers full of Brits. I swear to God, it was almost all Poms and Europeans. Europeans love Thailand. I don't know what it is about it. Is it the cheapness, the seediness? But I mean, Australians love it too. But I don't know why. Just the Poms, man. Like spending a month plus here. Like, it's a nice country and all, I get it, but I don't know if I could spend a whole month here, even if you are traveling around. It's like, it's the same stuff. It's the same food. It's the same politeness. There is that seediness to it. Yes, there's some beautiful beaches and mountains up, down south. Granted, but a whole month, I don't know if I could do it. I've already been here a week, and I feel like I'm pretty much done with at least Bangkok anyway. I don't know. Like, when I go to the more peaceful parts, like today, I went to Wat Pho, which is the home of the golden reclining Buddha, and I'm in this beautiful park now. It's peaceful, it's quaint, if there is a spiritualness to it, you do feel to a large degree, why they call Thailand the land of smiles, that it's quaint, people are polite to a degree, but you can feel the scamminess of it. You can feel the you know the influence of the modern world and hasn't adapted that it hasn't adapted to. And that's what happens with a lot of developing nations is they've got these, particularly in the Asian countries, these quaint cultures that haven't adapted to these modern ways, and it sort of warps, this half mired between spiritual, senseless self versus capitalism, tuk-tuks full of diesel, polluted rivers, um, sort of people just making do with some of the modern comforts. And, it does, when you have a beautiful place like Thailand that's been corrupted by the seediness of the West, and there's scammers on every corner trying to get a quick buck out of the white people, it's kind of sad, It's kind of sad. Like yesterday I went to Soy Cowboy, which is just a dingy street that's just full of exploited sex workers. And, it just, I don't know, maybe I've become a lot more sensitive to it. I mean, I think we're all a little bit sensitive to it, but we sort of deny it in the eye of curiosity and the exploration of the dark that we have within ourselves to go just check it out. And it's just not for me, man. Like, I could just feel the vibe is low in there, right? It looks seedy. People are just sort of like, ugh. Except for the ones that are like desperate to embrace that dark side of themselves, which I am to a degree. We should all embrace our dark to a degree, but I think the exploitation really just fucks with me. And yeah, like I walked, up the road and back in like 5 minutes and just went, nah, 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 nah. That's probably a broader theme that this trip has given me, this leg of the tour in Thailand, is that, the last time I came here was in, I think, 2014. It's almost a decade ago now. Came with my ex, had a great time in Koh Phangan and full moon party, and we did a little bit of time in Bangkok, but it's more about the island hopping and whatnot. And yeah, just coming back a second time round, there is this degree of, I'm getting too old for this shit, man. I'm getting too old for the seedy and the impractical, and I've leveled up in life to a degree where I'm like hanging around. Why am I hanging around backpackers and shit, and hanging around like kids? Like the other day, the second night I was here, I started hanging out with a bunch of people, and they're lovely people, right? But I ended up realizing that I was hanging out with an 18 and 19-year-old, getting the 19-year-old high for the first time, this tiny little pom. And I'm like, 32, I've got a business, I'm doing a podcast, like I'm doing a lot more than these guys, and I just felt a little old. Got to say, a little old, a little too mature for this sort of thing. I don't know, maybe this will be one of my last times that I do a sort of backpacking style trip. Being, probably one of the oldest people at the backpackers and the hostel. Meeting people that are around my age. I think the closest was around 27, 28. So I'm pretty sure, unless I was like the odd one out, like there's always that random old kook that's at the hostel for all the wrong reasons. Then, I kind of felt a little bit out of it, a little bit out of the vibe. Which is fair enough, right? I mean, you got to grow up. And it's not like I'm there to try and be the fucking Steve Buscemi. How do you do, fellow kids? It's just a way for me to connect and hang out with people whilst I'm traveling abroad by myself. I'm not a guy that needs the luxury. I like to be out and about when I do travel. Although I have recognized the importance of rest and how disruptive fast-paced travel can be. I met a guy yesterday, great New Zealand bloke that seems to be doing pretty well in life. He had his own biotech startup that he actually built up and sold. Now he's just traveling a few months on his own. I was like, fuck, this guy's living the dream. Maybe I'll become a digital nomad for a bit once I get the sales course going, just to travel the world and have a bit of fun in the process. But yeah, it felt like it's, the resounding message is that, you're older now, you're a different level. These things aren't necessarily for you anymore, which is fine. I do embrace getting older and being, a more mature, more masculine, more determined individual, becoming a real man. It's just so funny that the way that fate or the spirits or the almighty powers that be beyond me sort of put these things in front of me, these pathways, and these cycles in front of me, because this is the second time that I've been to both Amsterdam and Thailand. And who I was previously to back then, it's just funny to see the cycles of, coming back and seeing how much I've changed in comparison to the person that I knew that I was when I was last here. Even seeing some of the same things again with a second pair of eyes, which is nice, right? It's nice to get that level of clarity and perspective. We're always constantly changing. So these sorts of cycles that I embrace and look into whilst I'm here, it's just a nice little touch point, little checkpoint into life. So, yeah, that's been probably one of the biggest takeaways from this trip is not a boy anymore, that's for sure. You can't be just blasting yourself silly every night with alcohol and weed, which I haven't drank that much, but definitely smoked a fair bit whilst I've been out and about, because thankfully Amsterdam and Bangkok have legalized weed, so it's been very easy to access it. It's my preferred way to get out and have fun as opposed to getting blasted on alcohol. But just after 3 weeks of traveling and not having my own bed and not having the routine that built me up in the first place and not eating correctly and having a bit too much fun, by now, I'm dragging myself to the airport at this point. It's the last half hour of my trip before I've got to freshen up and head to the airport and catch a plane home. And I'm excited for it. I am excited to get home, to not be sweating anymore, and just dig the fuck in. I said being a monk before. I'm going to be definitely approaching monk mode for the next 4 months. And what do I mean by that? It's just work, baby. Between now and August is my money-making period in my day job at Cisco. At night, it's about building up this course, getting the content right, getting the website right, just building the structure of the organization, because everything that this trip has told me about the course is just all systems go. And it's exciting. It feels purposeful. It feels like the way. It feels like the path that I should be on, which is beautiful. And I kind of had inklings of it, all the way through. I remember the first time I thought about the idea of the sales course when I was in the woods about 18 months ago, when I was taking some time off to build these new ideas of mine. And the surge of energy that I got through my spine, through my brain, when I thought of this idea was immense, was fucking immense. It was like I was hit with a lightning bolt through my brain, and I was so excited and I wanted to tell people straight away. So I knew I was onto something. It's just that the timing wasn't necessarily right. And now, with a bit more clarity and a bit more time and a bit more perspective, this feels like the right time. This feels like the right time to be doing it. So, I've got to build. Figure it out, and I'm ready for it. I'm ready to take on the challenges. I'm ready to take that next level of vulnerability and putting myself out there as an authority in what I do and push it out into the world. And, expose myself, my experiences, my capabilities to the wider world through this brand, through this course. And why I say that is because there is this level of vulnerability that I resist against by talking about myself in public. That's what even this exercise, the podcast, has been. Just, getting used to talking about me in a public forum, because I've spent so much of my life giving myself away to others because of the way I was raised, because I had two parents that was unstable. So I had to stabilize my own internal world. I had to keep an eye on both of them and sacrifice my own needs from a very early age. So coming out of my shell and actually expressing what I need in life is a deep challenge. It's a real deep challenge. So that comes out in various facets and various ways of self-expression, even just being on social media and getting, to that degree and putting myself out there and talking about my experiences, despite how fucking crazy and fun and insightful they may be. I'm getting better at it. The last 12 months of putting content out and doing this pod has certainly hardened my capabilities and given me some internal locus of strength, even to the point where I'm here just publicly doing my podcast in a public park for the last 3 weeks. Being in one of the busiest places in Belgium, just talking in public, talking a bit of shit, watching the world go by. People become curious about what I'm doing here. And yeah, I just go, yeah, how you doing? Just let them be. It's funny how well you adapt once you just get over and just jump in and have those 20 seconds of courage to do something new. I'll tell you what though, Thailand has a mean juice. I just had an orange and a mango juice because I've been flop sweating since I left the hostel this morning. And I stopped caring about the macros for now. I'm just going to get home and just punch a bunch of steaks down and chicken breasts for the next couple of weeks, get myself back into shape and get my macros right again. So I just enjoyed a delicious pad thai and some freshly squeezed juices to replace some of my many lost fluids in this trip. And I tell you what, it's a natural paradise here. It absolutely is. So their fruits are absolutely delicious. Getting freshly squeezed fruit juices, just watermelon off the street. Amazing stuff. So when you keep it to the authentic parts of Thailand, the more centered, the less busy, the less of the bustle. It's a beautiful place to be. Could be a little less muggy. Fuck, I hate humidity. I really fucking hate it. A little orange juice ASMR for you people. Yeah. I gotta go soon. This one's a loose one. Just a reflection, just something to tide us over, and tide the good people over. And then I'll be releasing a bunch of clips and stuff when I get back. But I tell you what, man, I think I had a experience last night that I don't want to talk about just yet in detail. But the world, something, I gotta close on this, something is fucking looking out for me, man. I do talk about being spiritual and do believe in that higher power, and I do believe in synchronicity, and it happens to me so often that I see so many signs, so many trails. But, so there are some big things happening, and there is something that's keeping me out there on the straight and narrow. The synchronicities, the magic numbers, the path that I'm on, the things that are put in front of me. It feels like, just divine wisdom and guidance. The synchronicities that I've had in this trip are insane, even for the fact that I've got this course and then have the ability to pitch it to the best possible person I could pitch it to within my network, and they're interested in it. Fucking insane. The fact that I can come here and learn some lessons about life and about myself in the process of my greater narratives and my greater challenges, amazing. Seeing all these synchronicities of numbers and timing and just events that are put in front of me. I was just at Wat Pho, which is it's a temple of the golden reclining Buddha. It's like a 55-meter long golden reclining Buddha statue. And I've been there taking photos, getting some shit for the gram, as you do. And I'm trying to get a nice little selfie with the Buddha where I've got like a cute little angle where you can see his face and just one of his eyes. I'm doing a selfie. And just as I'm trying to get the right angle out of the fucking corner of my eye, I swear to God, the Buddha blinked. Not blinked, it winked. The Buddha winked. And I can't prove it, but just in the space of everything that's happened to me in life, to this point, particularly the last few years, and going to, one of the central lands of the Buddha, of the Kingdom of Siam, it's pretty hard not to think that that was something. And then I'm looking at the photos and I check the time and it's 1:11. 111. And I can't tell you how many times I have seen the magic numbers on my phone, on a watch, around me. Hundreds. I still screenshot almost every single time I see a magic number on my phone or something on the street. It does provide these breadcrumbs of meaning to me. These crumbs of something bigger out there. Whoops. Keeping an eye on me, just going, you're in the right place. You might be suffering a little bit, or might not feel comfortable, but this is where you're meant to be. And that's been happening so often for me in the last couple of years that, it just it pushes me to keep going. It's both intrinsic and extrinsic, this guidance, where it feels every time I see this, because I feel like I'm doing the right things and I'm keeping the vibe high and I'm keeping towards, aiming towards a higher good, that, karmically, it's just letting me know that I'm in the right direction. And then when you do so, when you get used to living on that higher vibration and just that, resisting that temptation to go dark or to go south, it pays off. So it's like this gentle encouragement from the universe just to keep going. And then when I do, get those moments, it just reinforces the mission, the vision of what I'm doing next. And you know what? Sometimes I feel like talking about it. It's like, when you talk about, you're not supposed to you're not supposed to talk about your birthday wishes or else it won't come true. Sometimes I feel like I should be doing something similar, like keeping it to myself, but I'm sure I'm not the only one. In spiritual circles, particularly the ladies, they love to see 1111 and the 111, 222, and so do I. So, I'm not the only one. It's not like this is a fresh discovery for me about what this means. I do think I'm probably more intuitively aligned than most men as well. So that could be something to do with it. But, yeah, I go away from this trip wiser, more excited for the future, have a better, deeper understanding of myself, and it feels like there's some new levels coming soon. Some big levels coming soon. So I've got to be ready. Got to get my shit together. Got to step into a new level of manhood. Own it, build it, create it, manifest it, and just keep going. Just like I do pretty much every single day. But I'm very excited for what's next. I need a holiday from my holiday. Thank God I got a short week at work. And let's see what the next step takes us, huh? It's going to be a very interesting year, the next 12 months. To think also is another reflection that I had. This time last year, I was starting ACN and Cisco at the same time. Terrible idea. I just got over my first bout of COVID. I'm working 80 plus hours a week. I'm running 2 gigs, starting a third. Just torn in all directions. I'm anxious about what ACN is going to be. I'm excited that I'm putting out content 4 to 5 times a day, as well as learning a new business, going through orientation and training. I'm working. I don't know where it's going on both ends. And then 12 months later, here I am. I'm traveling the world because I'm one of the top salespeople on the planet for this organization. And I've gotten rid of a startup and I'm creating another one. And I'm going full ball at this one 12 months later. I couldn't have predicted this 12 months ago. So where I'm going to be in 12 more months, with all the things that are going on right now, fucking who knows, man. Who knows where the fuck I will be in 12 months. We'll find out together, right? I'll be staring right down this barrel like I am right now, speaking to you, dear listener. And I hope you are by my side celebrating a few big wins and that you're a part of them too. That's it for this week, folks. I've got to go dry off, freshen up, and head home. Thank you for your time and attention. As always, bingers, fuck, I am so tired. Thank you for your time and attention. You know where to find me on the socials. At Jamil J. Raymond. Chuck us a follow. Share some shit around. Get the reach going, fellas and ladies. And as always, if you need help, if you need advice, got any questions, slide into the DMs. Always open to my bingers. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you next week. Ciao for now.